Hi, I'm Reb Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I've been going through the lessons this year, asking Jesus to clarify for me, and then I write from that clarity, whatever comes to me. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. Today, we're looking at lesson 155. I will step back and let him lead the way. Paragraph 1. There is a way of living in the world that is not here, although it seems to be. You do not change appearance, though you smile more frequently. Your forehead is serene. Your eyes are quiet. And the ones who walk the world as you do recognize their own. Yet those who have not yet perceived the way will recognize you also and believe that you're like them as you were before. Well, this is so true. I feel so different that it amazes me that even those who are closest to me don't seem to notice. I think on some level they feel something, but for the most part, they believe I am like them as I was before. I'm grateful for my course friends because it's nice to have people you can share with on a deeper level, share what really matters. 2, the world is an illusion. Those who choose to come to it are seeking for a place where they can be illusions and avoid their own reality. Yet, when they find their own reality is even here, then they step back and let it lead the way. What other choice is really theirs to make? To let illusions walk ahead of truth is madness, but to let illusions sink behind the truth and let the truth stand forth as what it is merely sanity. There was a shift in which it became obvious to me that the world really is an illusion, and that while still here, I could change my mind about seeking illusions. I still have ego thoughts, and I still become briefly attracted to some of them, but not often and never for long. It really is madness to choose to follow the way of illusions when you know the alternative. Anyway, once peace is pretty consistent, being out of peace is truly painful. So the motivation for getting back to peace is strong. 3, this is a simple choice we make today. The mad illusion will remain a while in evidence for those to look upon who chose to come and have not yet rejoiced to find they were mistaken in their choice. They cannot learn directly from the truth because they have denied it is so. And so they need a teacher with a capital T, a teacher who perceives their madness, but who still can look beyond illusion to the simple truth in them. I have no idea why I resisted the simple truth for as long as I did. I remember doing so, though. I said that I couldn't understand and that I wanted to change my mind, but I didn't know how. In retrospect, I realized that was just resistance to give up the illusion. I've never given up any ego idea that I regret losing. I'm happy to let go of the belief in guilt and don't miss it a bit. When it shows up again, I don't hesitate to release it because I know it's just another ego lie. Holding grievances seems insane to me now. When I think of how I used to cling to my grievances, I am amazed that I did so. Thank God we are given the teacher who perceives this madness, but knows who can still look beyond illusion to the truth. And thank God I decided to turn to that teacher for correction. 4, if truth demanded they give up the world, it would appear to them as if it asked a sacrifice of something that is real. Many have chosen to renounce the world while still believing its reality, and they have suffered from a sense of loss and have not been released accordingly. Others have chosen nothing but the world, and they have suffered from a sense of loss still deeper, which they did not understand. Jesus wants us to know that when there is a sense of sacrifice and giving up the world, It's only because its unreality has not been accepted. And worse than that is when the world is fully embraced and there is no desire for truth. When I began the course, I thought I was being asked to sacrifice the little I had. Eventually, though, as I gave up more and more of it anyway, I had the laugh and joy to discover that I was happy to give it up. I saw that it had no value, being nothing of itself. This is the reason I tell everyone willing to hear that there is no world. Be happy to hear that. It is your release from suffering. It is impossible to be in the world of illusion, and yet it is possible to be in the world of illusion and yet not to be of it. It is so much better than believing in the illusion. There is peace and happiness when we dream of a forgiven world. Both are illusions, so the only question is, do you want to dream of suffering or dream of happiness? 5. Between these paths, there is another road that leads away from loss of every kind. For sacrifice and deprivation, both are quickly left behind. This is a way appointed for you now. You walk this path as others walk, nor do you seem to be distinct from them, although you are indeed. Thus can you serve them while you serve yourself and set their footsteps on the way that God has opened up to you and them through you. How do I serve others as I serve myself? Every time I say or do or even think of the truth, I affect others. And as I give the gift of truth to someone else, I receive it. Remember what Jesus told us in the previous lesson. We will not recognize that we receive until we give it. Here's an example. When someone says that I misunderstand something in the course, I appreciate that they care enough to want to help. I have that thought rather than the thought I need to defend my position. So instead of giving myself judgment and attack, I'm giving myself understanding and appreciation. Here's something that Einstein said that I appreciate very much. When something vibrates, the electrons of the entire universe resonate with it. Everything is connected. The greatest tragedy of human existence is the illusion of separateness. We're not separate, and so what we think and what we believe resonates throughout the universe, throughout the sonship. 6, illusion still appears to cling to you that you may reach them, yet it has stepped back. And it's not illusion that they hear you speak of, nor illusion that you bring their eyes to look on and their minds to grasp. Nor can the truth which walks ahead of you speak to them through illusions. For the road leads past illusion now, while on the way you call to them that they may follow you. I almost never teach fear and guilt anymore, not with my words or my thoughts. When I have a fear thought, I take it to the Holy Spirit for correction rather than sharing it or clinging to it, thus making it stronger. So I may still have ego thoughts, but not sharing them is a part that I can control and usually do. If I talk about my fear thoughts at all, it is a teaching story. It is used to explain this is the way it felt, and this is the way I recovered my sanity. This decision not to share the fear and not to keep the fear is a way I let the illusion step back. Instead, I do my best to share only the truth, and I do this by letting the Holy Spirit lead the way. 7, all roads will lead to this one in the end. For sacrifice and deprivation are paths that lead nowhere, choices for defeat, and aims that will remain impossible. All this steps back as truth comes forth in you to lead your brothers from the ways of death and set them on the way to happiness. Their suffering is but illusion, yet they need a guide to lead them out of it, for they mistake illusion for the truth. 8, such is salvation's call and nothing more. It asks that you accept the truth and let it go before you, lighting up the path of ransom from illusion. It is not a ransom with a price. There is no cost, but only gain. Illusion can but seem to hold in chains the Holy Son of God. It is but from illusions he is saved. As they step back, he finds himself again. All that I'm being asked to do is to be willing to release the untrue beliefs that are reflected as the world. It doesn't cost me anything and offers me a loving, peaceful, and happy life while I am still here, and eventually complete freedom from the illusion. This reluctance we all have to give up the world is a reason Jesus goes to so much trouble to help us realize how very little it has to offer and what an awful price we have to pay to keep it. Once we begin to realize just how much suffering is involved in believing in the world, we become ready to let it go. We will all make this decision at some point. Why continue to suffer when we can do it now? 9, walk safely now, yet carefully, because this path is new to you. And you may find that you are tempted still to walk ahead of truth and let illusions be your guide. Your holy brothers have been given you to follow in your footsteps as you walk with certainty of purpose to the truth. It goes before you now, that you may see something with which they can identify, something they understand to lead the way. 10, yet at the journey's ending, there will be no gap, no distance between the truth and you. And all illusions walking in the way you traveled will be gone from you as well, with nothing left to keep the truth apart from God's completion, holy as himself. Step back in faith and let truth lead the way. You know not where you go, but one who knows goes with you. Let him lead you with the rest. I appreciate that Jesus is reminding me that the path is still new to me. I need to be aware, to be vigilant for my thoughts and beliefs, because I can still slip back into a story if triggered. He also reminded me of my obligation to my brother, who is looking to me to provide certainty of purpose. And the third reminder is that while I may walk ahead of some, as Jesus walked ahead of us, in the end, we're all one, and there is no gap between us. One of the stories that can trigger me still is that my children are suffering. My son is looking for a job and at the same time is having other problems. I sense his anxiety and it triggers mine for him. When this happens, sometimes it feels very much like the world is real and I am his mother and he my son. But I know too much now to go back. I talk to Jesus about it and I slip into the silent stillness instead of the story. I let my mind be healed to the belief that the truth is not true. And when I come back to the world, I come back with truth leading the way. The ego mind thinks these slips mean something about me, but that's not true. They happen and I seek correction. Otherwise, they're meaningless. 11. When dreams are over, time has closed the door on all things that pass and miracles are purposeless. The Holy Son of God will make no journeys. There will be no wish to be illusion rather than the truth. And we step forth toward this as we progress along the way that truth points out to us. This is our final journey, which we make for everyone. We must not lose our way, for as truth goes before us, so it goes before our brothers who will follow us. Our part now is very important to ourselves and to our brothers who will follow us. This is why there is nothing more important to me than this path I have chosen. I do other things than this work, but even as I do them consciously. I watch a movie consciously, noticing the choices the characters make and understanding how they could have done it differently. This is second nature to me now, and I don't try to do this, it just happens. I visit with a friend or with my family, and I extend love because I want to, because I can't imagine wanting it otherwise. Someone asked me for advice and I asked the Holy Spirit what to say. I become upset about something and I ask for correction and clarification. I will live like this until the journey is over. It's encouraging to realize that it is really coming to an end. It fills me with joy to know that I'm helping. 12, we walk to God. Pause and reflect on this. Could any way be holier or more deserving of your effort or your love and of your full intent? What way could give you more than everything or offer less and still content the Holy Son of God? We walk to God. The truth that walks before us now is one with him and leads us to where he has always been. What way but this could be a path that you would choose instead? 13, your feet are safely set upon the road that leads the world to God. Look not to ways that seem to lead you elsewhere. Dreams are not a worthy guide for you who are God's son. Forget not, he has placed his hand in yours and given you your brothers in his trust that you are worthy of his trust in you. He cannot be deceived. His trust has made your pathway certain and your goals secure. You will not fail your brothers nor yourself. We walk to God. Think about that. We walk to God. What does the world have to offer that compares to this as a purpose? Jesus is using these two paragraphs to emphasize the importance of what we do, our sacred intent. He wants us to stay vigilant and to not forget our purpose and to not forget our brothers. Don't be deceived. Trust God, trust yourself, and trust your brothers. You will not fail your brothers nor yourself. 14, and now he asks, but you think of him a while each day, that he may that he may speak to you and tell you of his love, reminding you how great his trust, how limitless his love. In your name and his own, which are the same, we practice gladly with this thought today. I will step back and let him lead the way, for I would walk along the road to him. Thank you for sharing this lesson with me today. Thanks for watching my video. And if you found it helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. And I will be back tomorrow with another lesson.